Not only is Yu-Gi-Oh! The greatest card game ever made, the anime has way more interesting music than you probably realize. So let's talk about it. Background music might sound like a boring topic, but the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Uses it makes it extremely important. Most scenes in the show feature some kind of background music. It's so ubiquitous that viewers will almost certainly forget it's there, which is actually the point. Background music emotionally informs the audience and enhances narrative comprehension. Let me give you an example. In Season 1, when Joey and Yugi are making their way through Duelist Kingdom, they run into Para and Dox, twin brothers who force them into a weird, mixed rules maze duel. The background music here is really high stress, high pressure, and highlights the danger that they're in. That might sound really simple, and it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh's narrative is particularly complex, but you've got to remember that these shows are made for kids whose ability to discern subtle emotion is bad. Most cartoons use an overabundance of background music because it helps kids figure out how to feel about things. Yugi is good and Pegasus is evil. Jaden is cool and Chaz is a prick. Music in Yu-Gi-Oh! Clarifies roles. It's interpreting the narrative for you. This is why dramatic television like The Sopranos uses significantly less background music. Adult shows with adult themes often want their audiences to engage in nuanced interpretations of their morally ambiguous narrative events. Yu-Gi-Oh! Wants to take you on a fantastical journey into a world where being good at card games makes you rich, sexy, and famous. These different goals require different approaches. Neither is inherently better, just fundamentally different. Key music is music that plays in the foreground to emphasize key moments, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Uses it differently than anything else I've ever seen. An important consideration when it comes to key music is whether or not it's diegetic. When key music is diegetic, it means that it originates from inside the fictional world. This happens in Scrubs when Turk and JD break into song, and in the Shaun of the Dead pub scene where Don't Stop Me Now is playing on the jukebox. Yu-Gi-Oh's key music is different to these examples because it's not diegetic. It appears inexplicably from outside of the fictional world. This approach is also really common. In Breaking Bad, music is licensed by the production and then overlaid at key moments. The music doesn't directly reference the events of the story, but a synergy of meaning is created through their simultaneous use. Badfinger's Baby Blue isn't really about methamphetamine, but it feels like it is when Breaking Bad uses it. So if non-diegetic key music is common, what's so special about Yu-Gi-Oh's approach? Well, what's strange is that its music is custom composed to directly reference the events of the narrative. When Yugi and Joey face off in the semi-finals of Duelist Kingdom, the rock ballad No Matter What plays. Lyrically, the song directly talks about their duel and the struggle of competing against a close friend. Yu-Gi-Oh! Commissioning narrative-specific lyrical music, which is played back non-diegetically, is kind of strange. I can't personally think of any examples of the same approach to television music. Okay, so other than background and key music, there is something really important we haven't touched on yet. The main theme. Everybody remembers the duel, so let's break it down a little bit. As it turns out, it was written by some killer musicians, Wayne Sharp and John Siegler. Wayne Sharp has worked with Pearl Jam and Queens of the Stone Age, and John Siegler played bass for Utopia and Hall of Oates in the 70s. Siegler also co-composed the Pokemon theme. So it shouldn't come as a huge surprise that Yu-Gi-Oh's theme is actually kind of sick. It opens with what sounds like a duduk, playing a very airy melody that seems inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh's ancient Egyptian themes. However, the theme doesn't stay airy. Breakbeat drums slam in, and a cut-up vocal sample is layered over the top. It sounds extremely of the time, but in a really good way. In the next section, we get these big dramatic horns that sit on top of a breakbeat and a crunchy bass line. After a string run, these horns dissolve into a seriously groovy bass breakdown, which swells triumphantly into a final vocal sample. So, The theme features dramatic horns and strings, chopped up vocal samples with breakbeat drums, driving bass riffs, and a hint of traditional instrumentation. When I started this video, I figured the main theme would be a lot worse than I remembered from when I was a kid, but it's actually kind of better. It's a strange and eclectic mix of influences that finds its unique voice through aggressively mashing together other stuff. In fact, Yugioh's entire approach to music is far more strange and awesome than I thought it'd be. The background music is really effective. The key music is corny and weird, but super amazing, and the main theme goes hard enough that it might have to enter into my regular listening rotation. Maybe the bear should start taking cues from Yu-Gi-Oh! Soundtrack. Just a thought. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. This video had some copyright issues, so if you want the uncut version, it's on Patreon. Speaking of which, I want to recognize the support of Andrew McTaggart, Mark David, Rima, Thomas Cooliz, Deliverator, Star 1120, Robert Alex, The Ore Baron, Brimst, Van Borner, Lucas Fyodorchuk, Butterjam Jimbo, Corey Kraushaar, Forrest Parron, and my mum. Thanks to them, thanks to you, and I'll see you soon.